This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Kinnett and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial, now celebrating 20 years helping families build successful retirements and lasting family legacies. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is a 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
Welcome in. The market had a great 2023, but now what? Is a well-managed 401k enough for a comfortable retirement? And did you hear about this? Tiger Woods and Nike have split after 27 years. And this begs the question, because we're always thinking about retirement planning, should you split from your current advisors? And of course, we're going to talk taxes. Mike and Ryan, their goal for the past 20 years and still today is to help you grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. Ryan Herbert in the retirement hot seat today. Ryan Herbert, how are you? It's great to see you as always, man. Good to see you.
Doing wonderful. You know, the Ravens are getting a bye this weekend, so no football on the slate for me this weekend, or not, at least none that I care to pay attention to, but you know, looking forward to next week and hopefully the Ravens going deep into the playoffs this year.
Well, as we're talking about sports there, this made the headlines this week, and we're going to go to this story first here with Tiger Woods and Nike splitting after 27 years, and I think about $500 million total as the company continues to phase out its golfing business, which, I mean, I haven't followed the story very well, Ryan, but I don't know why Nike would go away from golf. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but of course I haven't been following it that well. But nonetheless, Tiger may be looking for a new deal. And that got me thinking about retirement planning as we discuss here on the show. Should we be looking for a second opinion, for a new deal when it comes to our retirement with a new financial advisor that, like you guys always talk about, that specializes in the retirement planning phase of our lives?
Yeah, you know, I do think that it is important to get a second opinion. Most people get second opinions when you get bad news from a doctor. You get second opinions when you go to your auto mechanic and, whenever you're Googling vacation spots, you're looking at multiple places, you're checking multiple websites for prices, you're looking at all kinds of different reviews. But retirement planning kind of seems like one of those things where people, they have a blind loyalty, I would say, if I can. I've been with this person for 20 or 30 years. I feel disloyal to this. Yeah, they got you to that point. And that's, when I'm sitting down with our radio listeners, or I'm sitting down with prospective clients, that's one of the things that we talk about is, are you working with an advisor right now? If you are, what is it that is making you question kind of what's going on, what's making you want to come see us? And, it's always that, I've been with them for a very long time. I don't know of anything else other than what that person has told me. I want to see what else is out there. And my response to them normally is, most times, like you said, the advisor that has gotten you to retirement is not always the best advisor to get you through retirement. And that simply is most advisors that you meet when you're younger, their entire goal really is to grow your assets as much as possible, accumulate as much assets as they can under management. So, that way they get the revenue stream. And there's nothing wrong with working with advisors that do that. There's nothing wrong with advisors that do that. That is just kind of how it is. But, that is where most advisors focus is grow the money. Not every advisor, and, Mike and myself, we belong to a rather large group of advisors for networking purposes. And most advisors, that's what they focus on. Not a lot of advisors focus on that distribution phase of retirement because it goes against what most advisors are about. It goes against accumulating all the assets because Mike and I and our team here at ProStatus are always encouraging our clients to spend their money, to enjoy their retirement because you've worked so long to get here. You need someone to tell you, here's how you take the income. And more importantly, here's how you plan for the taxes.
I want to stop you right there, though, because when we hear financial people talk, they always talk about the doom and gloom. But what you're saying right now is, hey, enjoy your money. That's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it's all about having that plan and making sure that you know exactly where your income's going to come from. It's all about making sure those income streams are as guaranteed as possible. And that's I've got really two stories on this. Number one, Mike had these clients. They were clients for a very long time, and they were both federal government workers. They both had they were the old style, the CSRS government workers. They had very, very nice pensions. They had more money coming in from their pensions that they were spending, and they had all this money, like $2 or $3 million inside of their TSP. And we were sitting down with them. We were talking about, what's really the goal with this money? And they said, well, we don't know. We try to live within our means, but we really want to have, I think they both wanted Porsches, and then they wanted to buy a boat, and they wanted to do all these different
Good
things.
for them.
And Mike and I, after it took, 2 or 3 years of once they were retired, once they felt comfortable with the income, but we were sitting down with them and say, go buy that car. Why did you save? Why did you scrimp? Why did you sacrifice all these years while you were working to have these things in retirement to not want to go do it? So we had to basically force them to go buy those Porsches, to go buy that boat, because that's really what that money was there for, because they knew that no matter what happened out there in the stock market, their income was as safe and secure as possible. And then everything else that wasn't being used for income, that's their extra money. And that is the true benefit of having a financial plan that has that income aspect attached to it. And if you're talking with your advisor about what does retirement look like for me, and you're getting generic answers like, oh, retirement's going to be fine, you can spend X amount of money, or they're showing you those fun Monte Carlo reports that say, you have a 98% statistical chance of making retirement.
Those red flags.
Yes. So,
Okay.
that's just kind of generic advice. If you want something that's much more keyed into you and your spouse's plan and your family's plan for retirement, I encourage you to give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and sit down with Mike, myself, and our team here at ProStatus. If you have $500,000 or more, I encourage you to give us a call so that we can truly show you the power of these plans when you have a proper income plan in retirement. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
And we also remind you online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, for that complimentary income analyzer. That way you can see how much income you can safely start to generate from your current savings. And then the complete retirement plan continues from there. Again, 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Ryan Herbert is a financial and tax planner and a 5-star wealth management award winner. Ryan, you mentioned two things basically that I want to follow up on. Number one is you said you had two stories, and we love to hear stories because that's how we can put ourselves in that situation, and we can really glean from that. But also, you mentioned federal employees. You guys do work with a lot of federal employees here in the Baltimore, D.C. area as well.
Baltimore, D.C., Florida, we have a lot of clients kind of all over the place. There are a lot of federal employees down there in Florida. Mike and I haven't done it in a while, but I think Mike still does it probably once a year. We actually go to government offices and teach them about their benefits because they're so convoluted. They're so
That's a whole different ball game, right?
Yeah, they have people like Mike and I come in. A couple of years ago, I went up to Aberdeen and I just had clients in my office, and they noticed the letter that I got from I think he's a 2-star general who was in charge of Aberdeen at the time, basically thanking me. And she goes, "What's this letter for?" And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of what it's for." But, federal benefits are important. You want to make sure that you have somebody in your corner kind of looking out for that. But, what I was saying, not only do we encourage you as clients to really spend your money and enjoy your money in retirement, but, you want to get that second opinion and make sure that the person that got me here is not the same person to take me through retirement. And a number of years ago, I had these clients, and I've talked about them kind of to no end on this show. I have my stories that I love to tell because they're just so applicable and people can really kind of put this to use in their own personal life. But, they came to me, they were working with 2 separate advisors from 2 of the big firms. And then they had their own CPA that was referred to them 30 years ago. So these really, really long-term relationships. And, as people do when you get 55 plus, you get those dinner invitations. And we were doing dinner seminars at the time, and they came out to one of the dinner seminars and they said, "Oh, we like what you have to say. We've been with these people for a long time, but we don't think we're going to leave, but we just want to see kind of what's out there." And what makes Mike and I different is that we don't just focus on the investments. We talk about taxes. We talk about long-term care. We talk about estate planning. So I ask for a bunch of documents ahead of time when you come in and see me. I ask for your investment account statements. I ask for your tax returns. I ask for any annuity statements you have, life insurance, your estate plan. So I can get this entire picture and we can have a true conversation about you and your specifics versus just generalities. And when I was going through all their documents, I was looking at their tax returns, and in about 45 seconds on the tax return, I found this $350,000 mistake.
$350,000
mistake on their tax return. Basically, what had happened was they owned a medical practice that they sold to a conglomerate, for lack of better use, a bigger, they were independent. They sold to a franchise. Okay. I'll say it that way. So they had a very large influx of cash from selling this business, and thus a huge tax opportunity was kind of given to them by the government. They obviously had to pay a large amount of taxes. And when they sold this practice, it was for about $5 million. They went to their two financial advisors and they said to them, hey, we have $5 million. We're going to split it between the two of you after we pay for our taxes. What should we do? We're now retired. We're not going to work anymore. What should we do? Well, Bo said, okay, great. Let's take this money. Let's put it in the stock market. Everything else is going for growth. Let's put it all in for growth. Well, number one, now we're retired. We're going to need income. And you're investing our money for growth. And that's kind of what I was pointing out to them. Is like, when I look at all of your investments, everything is super, super aggressive, and you don't have anything that is set up to give you a guaranteed stream of income in retirement. It's all reliant upon the stock market. Stock market goes up 20%, you go up 20%. Stock market goes down 20%, you go down 20%. Then they also went to their tax person and said, hey, we sold our practice. What should we do? And he said, well, you're going to have to pay this huge tax bill. Go ahead and pay it, and then you'll be done. Well, the error that was missed was the fact that when they paid this large amount of money in state taxes, they were able to deduct it the very next year against their taxes. Well, the two financial advisors, they paid no attention to this. The tax person, because he's just looking at the taxes when you bring it to him, didn't pay attention to this. But what all three of these individuals that had been with my clients for 30 years, all three of these individuals all missed the opportunity to take $350,000 out of their IRAs, convert it over to a Roth, and pay zero taxes on it.
Zero.
So not only were they investing the money not in kind of what the best interest of the client was, because they needed income, but they missed the opportunity to move that money over to Roth and then invest that money for income and then create a tax-free form of income for the clients at that standpoint. So, it always begs the question of, it doesn't hurt to get that second opinion. It costs you nothing to come in and sit down with Mike, myself, and our team. It costs you nothing but an hour of your time. Come in, sit down with Mike, myself, and our team. Give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and get that second opinion on your retirement plan. They've been clients of mine now for the past 10 years. We really moved them over into that distribution and preservation phase where now they have a monthly income coming in every single month. And every single time they come into me, they say, Ryan, we are so glad that we came to that dinner workshop of yours all those years ago, because you truly put us on the path to not have to worry about retirement. If that's something that you're interested in, if your advisor's not talking to you about, here's where your income's going to come from in retirement, here's where taxes are going to affect your retirement, give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Again, that's 866-597-1040. And don't forget, online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. If you're driving right now, or if you just can't do it right now, just remember that. thesavvyinvestorradio.com, thesavvyinvestorradio.com, and click on the tax analysis button. But again, 866-597-1040. If you can do that now, it's going to be complimentary for you to talk with Mike and Ryan. Teammates are standing by right now to take your call. So, we got you covered as far as that goes. And Ryan, here on the Savvy Investor, we always have to say, you guys see people all the time. Everyone's coming in with different backgrounds, different savings and all that stuff. So everyone's situation is different. Because you're able to do one thing may not be the same for someone else, and vice versa. We always have to say that. But the question is that you asked earlier, do you have a plan for taxes? Because what I've learned from you guys and what we've learned from you and listening to the show for so long, is that if you don't have a plan for taxes in retirement, bet your bottom dollar that Uncle Sam, he has a plan for you. A tax plan for you. And you're not going to like that one.
He has a plan for you that's taking 25% right off the top. That's what his plan is. So you want to make sure you have that plan in retirement. And I have talked a lot about Bonnie, and you and I kind of joke about the Bonnie plan, because we got her down to essentially $0 in taxes. Last year was $110,000 in taxes, and she paid like $110,000 worth of income, and she paid like $900 in taxes. And
that's unbelievable.
We talk about it all the time, and unfortunately Bonnie just passed away, and Dawn and myself, because Dawn was my receptionist when Bonnie first came aboard in our office, in the office we used to have in Columbia, and we were reminiscing about how long she was a client, and we were looking at it, and it was about 15 years, about 10 of which was retired. And I was, Dawn was really upset because her and Bonnie were really good friends. I pointed out to her, I said, we gave her 10 years of retirement that she never thought she would have, because every single time we ever broached the subject with her, she always said, I can never retire. I'm never going to be able to retire. And I finally made her sit down and show her, here's what retirement's going to look like for you. So here's our plan for retirement for the next 5 years, the 5 years after that, and for the rest of your life. Unfortunately, it only lasted 10 years, but it's 10 years of her doing what she wanted to do. She was really big in her church. She loved volunteering for her church. She loved volunteering at food banks and at animal shelters. And we were able to do it in such a way that when she got 2-3 years into retirement, all of her income was as tax-free as possible. Wow. Like I said, about $110,000 worth of income and $900 in federal and state taxes combined. That is the power of tax planning. And it's not something that happens overnight, but it's something that you owe to yourself to explore in retirement. Give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and sit down with Mike, myself, and our team here at ProStatus, and let's get you on that path to a possible tax-free retirement. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
I'm glad you hear you say not overnight, because in today's world, we want everything, and we want everything yesterday. And this is not something that is, unfortunately, can be done that way. So again, but it also highlights the urgency of starting as soon as possible, correct?
Yep. That's one of those things, we've been talking with our clients for years, and just yesterday, I was talking with one of my clients from my office in Hanover. We were talking about the Roth conversions that we've done. We're talking about, now that we're in the new year, how much are we going to do? We were kind of coming up with that dummy tax return for what's your income going to be like this year, so we can figure out how much to do in Roth conversions. And then they were asking me about, what is our plan for after 2025? What do you think is going to happen? Well, my response to them was, well, right now, I know that taxes are going to go up. So while we're continuing our Roth conversions into 2026, it's going to be a smaller amount because the brackets are going to change. But, given what we see, and not to get political, given what we see with what's going on, Trump is currently the presidential front runner for the Republican Party. If by chance he gets reelected, I think there's probably a strong chance he extends that tax plan, or he makes some type of changes to taxes going forward. And the benefit of working with a financial planner that thinks about the taxes is that if that happens, I pivot the plan. We make changes to the plan. Just because I said we're going to convert $110,000 in 2026 doesn't mean we can't make a change. And conversely, if it's not Trump, if it's Biden again, or if it's some other Democrat, and they make changes over and above what we think, and they make taxes even higher, well, then we change the plan again. You should have a plan in writing. You should know what is going to happen in retirement, but you want to make sure you have somebody looking out for the plan and making those changes as things change in the world, as things change with the laws, and as things change in your life. But all of that really starts by giving us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sitting down with Mike, myself, and our team here at ProStatus to put you on that tax-free retirement plan. 866 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Again, everyone's different. Your situation is certainly different than everyone else's, and that's why they invite you to call and get that tax analysis today and see how well they can help you into retirement. And who knows, maybe we can be talking about you here in a couple of years as the next Bonnie plan, which is a great thing because, they started early and they did their due diligence, so on and so forth. 866-597-1040, tax planning, tax preparation from A to Z at ProStatus Financial. Again, that's 866-597-1040. Mike Kinnett is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax, and four-time Amazon best-selling author Ryan Herbert is a financial planner, 5-star wealth management award winner as well. In your corner, at your side, ready to help you to and through retirement and tackle taxes because, as Ryan said earlier, if you don't do anything, 20 to 30% off the top when you retire. Nobody wants that. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Click on that tax analysis button, and that'll get you with the guys. Also online at The Savvy Investor. I just mentioned that, but also the podcast, The Savvy Investor Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends as well. And we're also on YouTube now. That way you can see us and say hi to us. Ryan, got to wrap things up for this week. As always, though, you get the final word.
This is Ryan Herbert. Thank you so much for listening to the Savvy Investor Radio and podcast, and we will see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.